You are.
All right, I want to welcome everybody to the September 17th Commissioners Meeting. It's 5 p.m. If everybody will please stand for the pledge. We got it covered.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You said you wanted to. At this moment, we'd like to give a moment of silence to Charlie Kirk for observance of Charlie Kirk. So. Okay, thank you. Now, the first item tonight is going to be the hearing on the plan ordinance change, but if anybody has signed this piece of paper and wants to talk, now be your chance to come up.
So we're going to open a public hearing as to ordinance number 2025-05, establishing, I'm sorry, that was the public comment ordinance. Can I get a copy of that ordinance? The zoning change.
The zoning change.
Yeah. So what we'll ask, I will read off the names in order as they were submitted on the sign-in sheet. Please allow everybody to, say their piece when they come up to speak. I know that there was an ordinance establishing certain rules for public comment at the last commissioners meeting. Just so everyone's aware, there's no time limitation on this. It's a public hearing, so we're going to let everybody speak on these issues. That ordinance clearly states it doesn't apply to this circumstance. So everybody's going to get a chance to speak. Just understand that we have a pretty long agenda tonight. Please respect each other, respect the board's time, respect everybody else's time. Don't interrupt people when they're speaking. And it is technically comment. Just be aware that no one is required to answer any questions. But if you have questions, you can certainly ask them. It's just no one's legally required to answer, okay? All right, so we'll open a public hearing as to an ordinance amending certain provisions of the Scott County zoning ordinance number 2004-13. Is David Sean Grant here?
It's my first time here. Do I go to the podium?
Yes, please, sir.
I'm a recent member of Scott County, the community. I come from Jefferson County about 3 years ago. Bought a little 5-acre farm. Love it. I'm there by myself though. I've got a lot of grandkids. The new zoning would benefit me and them. That would allow me to build a couple of smaller places for them to be able to live, help out around the small farm or pursue their dreams when I'm, now or whenever. So I just want to say that I'm in favor of it.
Thank you. I'll do them one at a time so that you can each have your mom speak if you want. Carrie Myers.
We're here pertaining to we needed a variance to build a new building on our property. We have an old pole barn that we're using for storage, and it's an eyesore. It's fallen down. It's kind of hazardous we have grandkids as well. But on one side of our property, there's the sewer line. And so we needed to put it on the other side, which is close to the neighbor's fence, but not close to their house. So we're in favor of it because we're trying to improve our living.
Okay. You're in favor of the ordinance we're considering to amend the zoning?
Right.
Okay.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Has the variance been denied before?
I'll let Danny speak on that.
Okay,
because he-
yeah.
Right now, I put in for a building permit right before Missy quit. And this was in the beginning of August. And since she quit and everything, I think what she was trying to do, she was trying to hold me off until the bill passed. So that way, and to see if the bill passed, so that way we wouldn't have to pay for a variance and stuff like that. Because we're 20 feet from our neighbor's property line. And I've talked to all the neighbors and everything, and they're in favor of us tearing the old pole barn down and putting up a new pole barn to improve the value of the house or the surroundings and stuff like that. So I was caught, I don't know what you'd call it, but at a bad timing. So, and I've got everything lined out to get everything. We were scheduled to start building on October the 6th. And everything, had she not quit, everything would have fell in place just at the right time and everything. But since she quit, I haven't been able to get a building permit because I don't know the correct steps to follow.
We're gonna try to address that tonight in a separate item that's on the agenda. So
I've had a few people reach out to me saying there's delays and a lady has a week and a half left to get a permit to bring a trailer down from India or she loses all the money. And so she's been trying for a few weeks. So
See, that's kind of the position I'm in. I put $1,000 down to Gossman's for them to start building and everything. They've got everything ready to start building. I've got rocket set in my driveway right now for them to come and spray it out for the base of it also, so.
Yeah.
And then I've got also 100 tons of gravel scheduled to come in.
Yeah.
So we're in favor of it also, so.
Thank you very much.
thank you. Steve, I assume that you signed up just to speak about River Hills, right? Okay. Carol Flynn.
A couple hours ago, I sent an email to the three commissioners and to Jennifer Hamilton. I don't know if you all received that email. But I would like to enter into the record the email that I sent to the three commissioners today and the auditor. And it pertains to the ordinance change proposed by the advisory plan as discussed on July 14th and the August 13th meeting shown on YouTube. The ordinance, during that meeting, they talked about, it was 25 to 30 years ago that they were set where people knowledgeable with our future growth and responsible zoning in mind. Those state and local officials were not thinking of financial gains that would be afforded by set requirements. Their concern was the future growth of Scott County and responsible ordinances. Mr. Gardner, the county surveyor, is on this particular board, the advisory board, and during the July 14th meeting, he agreed with the zoning changes, but the August 13th meeting, he said after careful consideration, and he thought about it and he talked to some people in a different county, that his vote became a no vote for the problems that he stated during that meeting. And I'm aware of those. I was affected by some of that during the land sale that I made into another county, in a different county in 2022. So I'm aware of what, these changes may benefit some people, while other people, it may not benefit them. But he did change his vote to no, and I think that should be a major concern, because Mr. Gardner, as county surveyor, is he not the expert, one of the experts in the county pertaining to some of these setbacks and changes that would affect with this ordinance? There was also something else that I mentioned within the ordinance, or within my email that I addressed, and I wondered if I had some questions for the people. I believe that this advisory board is a subcommittee to the area plan. and it's known as the Technical Advisory Committee. That's the only committee that I can figure out why they would be having these meetings. And if they are they bound by the Scottsburg PC rules and procedures adopted in 2024 pertaining to the conflict of interest and bias and Indiana Code 3674-223? And then did anyone on this committee disclose any potential conflict of interest to the rest of the committee or the board members? Did anyone who serves on this committee have any financial or personal interest in this ordinance change? And did they follow the rules that were voted on in the 2024 meeting? And any undisclosed conflicts of interest erode the trust and effective decision-making in our county. To maintain integrity and effectiveness of this board and all committees and boards to present changes for our city and county to approve should be held to a high standard in conforming to local and state ordinances to avoid costly litigation in the future of that this county has experienced in recent history. And then with some of the changes, I've been made aware that there are maybe 14 future lots, houses that have been sold here in Scott County recently, and that they're moving from Clark County. And the reason they're moving from Clark County was to get away with some of the zoning ordinance changes of very close neighbors, houses being too close to the property lines. So they're coming to Scott County, and now we're changing this. And with some of the changes with the setbacks and the variances, are we creating these same issues that residents and citizens in other counties are experiencing with these close setbacks? So I would like to ask for your careful consideration in making a motion to change these ordinances and the effects that will have on the future development of Scott County. Because although more houses, more residents will create higher tax revenues for the county, which would be very much beneficial due to the financial state, but it will also place heavy burdens on the infrastructure that we're already lacking within our county. So thank you for your time and consideration.
Cody, and I'm gonna say this wrong, Chambliss, I'm sorry.
You're good. I'll answer about anything. So, my biggest thing is, I've got to look, I'm a farmer, I raise cattle, and I've got to look at this as what's going to happen going forward. And I think that's how the guys that set this up, the ordinance in the beginning, looked at it, what's going to happen going forward. And if I try to look at it both ways, and if you make a list of who this is going to benefit the most, if you don't have real estate agents and land developers at the top of that list, it's not, you need to look at it again, because the way I feel it right now, if a developer can buy 2 acres for say $8,000 a piece, an acre, you can build on that, you can sell that house and make a profit. They've already got that $16,000 figured into that. So now they can give $16,000 per acre, have the same amount of money in it, build a house, and come out with the same profit. So I feel like that's gonna just drive our land prices through the roof. I think it's gonna double. And as a farmer right now, I can't hardly afford to buy ground in Scott County, farm it and make a living with it. And if you look at the average prices of Indiana farm ground, the average price is around $14,800 an acre. In Scott County right now is at $6,300. So we're less than half the price of what the average of Indiana is. And I feel like the ordinance that's put in place by the previous commission, previous zoning has had an effect on that. And I got three points. That's the first one. I think that's the main one. I think it's really going to drive prices up. Second, I've heard the mention of fitting more homes on less ground, more economical homes. Well, right now you take 2 acres, you build a pretty nice home on it. It looks pretty good. Well, you build a house on every acre, you're going to make smaller, dinkier, not as pleasing, appealing houses in Scott County. And not to mention the third thing, you mentioned tax purposes. In the short go, you get more people into Scott County. In the short go of that, you may see a tax decrease. But if you look at it long term, you get more people, that's more kids, that's bigger schools. Later on, we're gonna have to raise the taxes right back to where they were You get more people, it's more cars on our highways, infrastructure's gonna have to be changed, taxes are gonna have to be raised. So I can't see that it's a tax advantage long-term. I can't see that anything of this is good long-term. And I said I had 3 points, but the fourth one I wanted to touch on third, for the variances. As of right now, if you have 1 acre, and I may be wrong, correct me if I am, but if you have 1 acre and you want to build on it, you can get a variance. If you go to them, area planning, go the right steps, you can still build on that if they say that it's okay. Am I right? Is that correct?
If a variance is submitted properly and it's considered by the planning commission, they grant the variance, then yes.
Then yes. Okay, so, I mean, right now, if say there, I've heard the mention that there's a lot of smaller lots that could be built on. Well, if the planning commission approves that, then it could be. Even if we don't need a change in the variance to make it open to where anybody can, it needs to be approved by the correct people, so. Anyway, that's what I have to say. Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bill Donahue?
I just want to say, I'm like Cody, I farm. And to me, you're pretty much saying, we're eating just generic food that they grow in the labs now, because it's got to be no pasture. Cody raises cattle, I raise cattle. So you build somebody sells off out here, which they had it out west a while back. Stinks out here. Now what do? So now the farmer's in trouble again. And the thing you do too is, if a developer comes in, give you 10,000 an acre, I'll buy it, 10,000. Well, hey, let's say, now wait a minute, I go to an acre, I'll give you 20,000. There's no way, the devil, I won't go do this. So I lose the ground. So now what's that do? Puts it right next door to me. So does that benefit anybody? No. I mean, and then an acre, that's not much ground to put anything on. You put your septic system in, you put your house, and you 20, now you got a rinky dink house. You build a shed right here up the corner of your house. How do you get back there? I mean, there's no pools or nothing. So I'm totally against it. I'm staying 2 acres.
Thank you.
Thanks, sir.
I don't have any other signups for the public hearing on the zoning ordinance change. Is there anybody that wants to speak on this issue? Sure.
Can you add me to the list?
You certainly.
You guys know that I couldn't sit here and keep my mouth shut. I'm DJ Brandenburg. I farm also, so these guys have addressed that issue. I also work with young kids. I tutor a lot of kids that are college age from Scott County that want to come back to Scott County. And I'm having a hard time understanding, so I'm going to phrase it as a question. If somebody comes to me, one of these kids, and says, hey, BJ, I want to buy an acre off of your property, that's not cost effective for me. By the time I pay for a survey, I can't sell them an acre at something they can afford. What I see happening, and you kind of alluded to it, I see a developer coming in and buying a large parcel and turning it over and selling it, which is their prerogative. They need to make money too. My question is, how does that help the young people? They're in it to make money. They're not going to reduce their price. If they have buy 20 acres with the possibility, even though the way our land lays, I'm not sure how you could put 20 homes with septic systems on 20 acres, but the possibility of having 20 acres, they're going to make more money, obviously, than if we did 10 acres. And I understand that. But they're not going to pass it on to our kids, nor would I expect them to. I have a problem with this issue, a lot of problems. I'm not a hydrologist, but I taught geology, so I can tell you I do have concerns. Recently, I've had a bunch of plumbers at the house. They have concerns, even with the new low dispersal septic tanks. They say our lowlands are not suited to having septic systems, lateral fields, drain fields on 1 acre, especially when you've got 1 acre butted up to another house on 1 acre. That's just what my plumber said. Hey, I'm paying him. I'm gonna kick his brain while he's digging, okay? But I don't see how it helps our kids. it's still they're going to wind up paying more. And I don't want to see it couched as this is a way to help low income or starting out people, because it's not going to be cheaper. I'm not selling them an acre. You're not going to sell them an acre if they come in. It's too expensive for us. So who's going to buy it? And like I said, developers got to make money, but please don't couch it that it's helping our young people or helping our old people like me who want to downsize. Don't neglect the situation of drainage that we have in this area. I talked to school bus drivers. You put the possibility that 20 homes on 20 acres, nobody nowadays sends their kid down to the corner and they have to stand in the rain. The school bus has to stop at every house. You're getting into some safety issues. Depending on where it's at, NDOT rules about how much room you have to have between driveways. You guys know that better than I do. I don't intend to speak to it, but I just ask you to please be concerned that you consider the whole spectrum of how this affects everyone in our county. And don't let somebody couch it as, oh, this is good for our county because it does growth. I'm not saying it doesn't, but growth is not just housing units. Growth is defined as opportunities. And we need jobs. We need to keep our kids in this county. We need to make this county where our kids want to come back. And people who aren't rich can come to this county and live here instead of buying a $400,000 home. But I haven't been convinced this helps anybody of a lower income area. Thank you for listening to me. Appreciate it.
Thank you, ma'am.
So again, anybody else want to speak on the public hearing on the zoning ordinance change?
We had the wrong idea of what was going on and stuff. We didn't realize.
So hang on.
I'm sorry.
So I'm happy to, we want to do, it's not going to be a back and forth all night. So I'm happy to, if you guys are okay, to let him comment on something.
Yeah.
I'll give everybody else an opportunity as well.
We thought that this was just like a variance thing. We had the wrong idea of what this meeting was about, so.
Okay,
That's okay.
that's
all
okay. So,
No harm, no foul.
that's fine.
All right, I want to change one tonight.
I'll subtract you off my list
Thank
then.
you. Yeah.
My name's Tim Bruner, and I work for the health department, and I'm the one in charge right now putting septics in. And in the rule, the 410-6-8.3 IAC rule, which means state law, Indiana Administrative Code, there's no amount of ground that's specified in that rule. So if we can get one in, we get one in. With the 2 acres and the 200 feet, then the 200 feet doesn't necessarily mean anything, but the 2 acres, I've been in the job 20 years in March, this coming March. We've probably put 1,500 septic systems in. I've maybe had to deny maybe a half a dozen because I can find an area. If we go down to 1 acre, it makes sense. I'm not always going to be able to find as much and be able to approve. So the only thing I'm telling you, and I'm not saying yes or no, I don't really have a dog in the fight, because if I can't get one in, it'll be denied. You know, I have to do that. But if I can get one in, I have to give it, if it's a half acre. So it's not my choice. I just want people to be aware there's going to be more systems denied. And so whenever someone goes out here, and they were talking, 10,000 an acre or whatever, right now there is lots selling for right at $20,000 per acre. So you're talking $40,000 per lot. Now, those I've been able to find. But I'm just saying, if someone goes out here and let's pay $15,000 for an acre, and I say, no, you can't get a septic system in, there's going to be people complaining, obviously. How many is going to happen? I don't know. There may be 2 or 3%, or there may be 10 or 12%, but it just makes sense. The smaller the area, the less likely I'm going to be able to get a system in. And it doesn't really have to do with the size of the system. It has to do with drainage. Almost every property that we do a soil test in Scott County has a high water table. We have to lower that high water table some way. We do it by drainage. We can only do that with natural drainage on new construction. We can't pump. In other words, you can't go ahead and put a 4-foot deep drain in, and you don't have 4-foot ditch here. You can't pump it to the ground and let it go to the road ditch when it's only 2 foot deep. That's against the rule.
Yeah.
On repairs or existing, yeah, you can't do that. But new construction, that's against the rule, so it's against the law. So it makes sense, if you go from 2 acres to 1 acre, there's not as many ditches or creeks or, downslope drains that you can get there. And that's that's gonna be the big restriction when we go down. Now, again, I don't know what percent it's gonna be. It may not be that many, but there's gonna be some. So I just want everybody to know, if someone pays, $10,000 or $15,000 for an acre of ground, and the health department doesn't give them a septic permit, and they can't do anything on it except fence it and keep a couple goats on it, they're gonna be mad at somebody. Now, maybe the realtor is responsible for that. I don't understand one way or another. All I know is what I know about my stuff. So I just wanna give you a heads up. If it does pass, I'll guarantee you there'll be some people that will have that issue. They'll say, well, the health department won't give us a septic permit. Well, it's not the health department, it's Indiana code that doesn't give you the septic permit. So I just wanted to give you all a heads up on that. Okay, be ready for the arrows.
I want to ask him a question. So you're trying to find an acre here now, and you're trying to put a septic. Okay, here's another acre. Here's another acre. Here's another acre.
Yeah,
Are you running into troubles, all that septic in one area?
ground can only absorb so much water. The rest of it has to run on.
Right.
I've been here long enough, none of you guys were, during Green Acres. That's what I cut my teeth on, was Green Acres subdivision up there. Now granted, those lots were a half acre, so that's a big difference. But you people remember, and I've been in this room when there were an awful lot of people that got really mad because of their houses being a cesspool.
All right. Thanks, Tim. I appreciate it. Thank you. Again, we are individually making comments, and it's to the board. I'm happy for you guys to ask questions of our employees or directors or things like that at other times, but we need to stay on the issue of speaking on this item right now in this hearing. So does anybody have anything? If you have something to address with Tim, that's fine. Just anything to address to the Board of Commissioners for this public hearing. All right, seeing none, I'll close the public hearing. Well, y'all should vote to close the public hearing.
I'll make a motion to close.
I'll say.
Make that unanimous.
All right. And then we have Ms. Ginn here from the Area Plan Commission Advisory. So I just want to make sure that the record's clear. This came with a recommendation from the Plan Commission, correct? Positive recommendation, favorable. Yeah. All right, so under Indiana Code 36-7-4-603, and preparing and considering proposals under the 600 series, the Plan Commission and the legislative body shall pay reasonable regard to the comprehensive plan, current conditions, characters of current structures and uses in each district, the most desirable use for which land in each district is adapted, the conservation of property values throughout the jurisdiction, and responsible development and growth. You obviously all can have an opportunity individually to make comments, questions, suggestions individually.
I'll go first. I had a lot of people reach out to me, so I'll go ahead. I sent an email, Ms. Carroll, I believe I sent this to you, my form. BJ, I sent this to you as well. Constituents response. I have a list of concerns here. So I had a total of 15% say yes. I had a total of 85% say no. A lot of concerns came back with easement issues came back, open space, decline in property or increase, either way there. Noise, neighborhood disputes, groundwater contamination, failing septic systems depending on the 30-foot or 35 standoff, trying to get back there, cleaning out, runoff, contamination, aquifer depletion, increase in possible disease transmission, E. coli, Giardia, habitat loss, chemical leaching, nitrate buildup in the soil. And so just based on that, and then Mr. Gardner, he said something really good in the meeting. I respect him a lot, saying, hey, when we have an extra grant in surrounding counties, say, hey, what's happened based on what y'all done when you've approved this? What was the benefits? What were the pros and cons? I would have liked to have seen that, say, hey, what was it? Like just some pros and cons altogether. And then I reached out to a few septic experts, quote unquote, and they echoed those sentiments of you have behind the house, how do you get to them, how do they fail, runoffs and stuff like that. So that's where I'm going to side with the constituents that sent me those concerns in the 85%.
How many different septic systems are there?
I don't know.
Oh.
I talked to 3 different plumbing septic guys, and I asked them about it. So I didn't ask them how many different types of work.
I got you. Do you have any comments?
I really don't. I mean, I just, from commissioner standpoint, things have come in here over my time. And many times they've come in undecided when we run into these potential zoning issues that there's not been a recommendation. This time there is a favorable recommendation that's been sent by our advisory board. Those folks are appointed. Some of them's been on that board for many years. So I know that they've done their homework, and a lot of them are very knowledgeable in these areas. I just think at the end of the day, there's pros and cons with everything we do. I guess one thing you can hang your hat on is Scott County's been unique in the fact that we are different. We're the only county around, quite frankly, that has an ordinance with the 2 acres, 200 foot of road frontage. I was in Franklin County today, in Brookville. I asked Commissioner, hey, what's your guys' current ordinance? He said, I think we're like 1.1 acres. And he wasn't real clear. He was thinking that they were probably around 150 on the road frontage side. So I think what's been presented, from our advisory board is it's nothing new. It's not already going on, in the surrounding areas. So, and, some of the big concerns I had was the septic stuff, which Tim pointed out. And I think, folks do need to do their homework. I mean, if you buy a piece of property, you need to probably check with Tim early on before you purchase that property to make sure that what you need, you can do. So that's all I got on.
I want to address a couple of issues, and we sit on these boards and we try to make the best decision we can with the information we have. And I do feel differently than some. I think one thing that we heard tonight is that we all do agree on is that the county is going to have people move here, and that we're going to have more people who try to buy houses and try to move into this area. And I hear that we don't want them to take up farm ground, but at the same point in time, if you know that you're going to have people move in and you don't want to take up extra ground, then it only makes sense to me to make somebody buy 1 acre instead of 2 every time they purchase land. Because if somebody wants to live here, they're going to purchase 2 acres if they have to. All right. Another thing I want to address that a lot of people always seem to think is that the more people that live here, the more taxes that the county will make. That's not true. Your tax base is based off of area. The more people you have, the denser population that's in that area is the less taxes you pay, not the more tax money that the county makes off that. So that's not exactly how that works. So the more people that comes in here, the less, eventually, the less you guys are going to pay. It's going to bring your taxes down. I am on the board that approved this, and we did debate it, and we have attorneys, engineers, Mark Gardner. I have given this a lot of thought, and that's, I'm going to be for it tonight. And I realize that there's a lot of people in here that is not for that, but the county's made up of 30,000 people, and this is a small turnout for something that's would be so unpopular if that was the case. So
I just want to add something. I know Mark's been brought up a few different times. I mean, I respect Mark's opinion like no other. I worked with Mark for many years at NDOT, and always relied on Mark's expertise up there when it comes to surveys. But I could be wrong, but I think maybe from what I gathered in those meetings, that maybe Mark's concerns were more along easements. John, you're on that board. Is that a fair statement?
that's true.
Well, you want to hear from me?
Well,
If a member of the board wants to ask you a question.
since you're on that board, I'm deferring.
We've been looking at this for actually years. We looked at all the counties around. A few years ago, I'd say 3 or 4 years ago, we were reaching out to every county around, seeing what kind of problems they had, what rules they were following, and how that impacted them, kind of what he was saying. And none of them were having a problem. Clark County, one of our closest, biggest bordering counties, we mimicked this off of them. I don't think Clark County is having health issues from the septics and the ground that they're using. I think there's many new septic systems that go completely, they're healthy on a smaller piece of ground. They might cost the person that buys the land, the home builder, whoever, it may cost them quite a bit more than a conventional septic system, but that's what you have to do. Even though you buy 2 acres, I mean, that ground may not be suitable for a septic. The ground has to be suitable for some type of septic that is healthy. And you could buy 5 acres that there's nowhere on there you can put a septic. We can't guard against that. The buyer kind of has to be aware, but rather than eat up all this ground around the county, it makes a lot more sense to condense the people a little bit more. And it's not like most counties aren't doing it and haven't been doing it for a long time. The 2 acre rule was brought in, I think, in the late 90s, early 2000s. And that was kind of to combat some developers that we had some holes in our walls here that they were getting around, and they were taking advantage of it. I think our rules were adopted probably in early 2000, late 90s, kind of a knee-jerk reaction to combat some of that. And it worked. It stopped them from doing some of the stuff they were doing, but I think the pendulum swung too far. Now we were stuck with that to stop some things we didn't want going on in this county. They put more than this rule in place. They put some others that also stop that from happening. With what's proposed to the people, a person cannot come in and buy a 100-acre farm and cut it into 100 lots. 1 acre, 100-foot lots. A person is allowed to have one split off of a deed per year. If they want to do any more than that in one lot, what is proposed is you have to come and ask for a minor subdivision. You can't just go out here and cowboy and cut land up like crazy. You still have to come before a zoning board if you're going to do any kind of a major property split. One of the other laws that was put in at the time, or rule, was that there could only be 4 splits off of a parent deed. That was to keep these people from coming in and split. But it was forever. Forever is a long time. And now we're 20 years into the process. We have properties that have, the deeds have been split. Maybe it was a 400 acre piece of property. It was split amongst children, some sold off or whatever. There's 50 acre tracts, 100 acre tracts that can't be split anymore. That's not good for the future, and forever is a long time. Our courthouse, in catching some of those, some of them get caught, some of them don't. We're opening ourselves up to lawsuits 20 years from now. Someone buys a piece of property, it's not registered correctly, or somebody doesn't catch it, they think you could split it. Someone looks back and goes, no, this property has been split 4 other times. That property cannot be split anymore. That was a knee-jerk reaction. No other counties do that. I think we're just kind of cleaning up our laws to keep people from coming in here and just developing wildly. But I think we have things in place to stop that from happening.
So John, the board would still have, there would still be guidance there, right?
Still be guidance. If you're gonna come in and split up a farm, you're either gonna have to come in and ask for a major subdivision or a minor subdivision.
Okay.
You can't just split your whole farm up that way without asking someone, without showing it to the board.
All right, show of hands, based on statement, does that change anyone's opinion in sitting here tonight? Okay, cool.
Question? May I ask a question? I've got 2 questions.
Should have to sign in or.
So we've already closed the public hearing. So John was asked a question by a board member to clarify some things that were discussed at the plan commission. So that's up to the board. All right, so, and I just want to make sure we're getting back to what we're talking about, because I think John's talked about some things that aren't necessarily what we're considering, okay? So the ordinance that is proposed is to certain provisions in a 2004 zoning ordinance has been our zoning ordinance since then. And considering the proposed amendment, the Plan Commission considered the need for smaller lot sizes to help reduce development costs and increase the availability of moderately priced homes. Proposed changes allow for efficient use of land while maintaining rural character and the environmental standards. And the proposed frontage reduction aligns with modern subdivision design practices and does not compromise access or safety. The only textual changes that are being discussed tonight to the ordinance are minimum lot size, which we all have talked about, 1 acre in applicable residential zoning districts zoned as A1. Minimum road frontage of 100 minimum road frontage in applicable residential zoning districts A1. And setback requirements of 10 feet from the sides, 30 from the rear, and 55 from the road. That is all that we have from the Planning Commission.
One thing I want to say real quick, on that 55 from the road, that's from the center of the road.
Okay, from the center of the road.
Yeah. That's correct, right? No, did you? 55 from the center of the road.
All right, so we've had,
Address me.
yeah, go ahead.
Is there something about the unencumbered 100 feet? Is that in there anywhere?
It is not in this one.
Okay.
It was not submitted as a part of the condensed proposal from the Plan Commission. The Plan Commission can submit other things at later dates. I just saying it's not on the agenda for tonight. We didn't advertise for it. Okay, so we did advertise for today's public hearing consistent with the statute. We've had a public hearing. Again, we have a favorable recommendation from the Plan Commission. We've had public comment and discussion. You guys can vote at your pleasure on whether to approve or not. There's signature lines for voting yes or no, depending on what you individually decide is your vote as to the substantive issues that have been presented.
So at this time, I'll entertain a motion.
My motion is yes.
I'm gonna side with the citizens, my motion is no.
My motion will be yes.
All right, so motion passes, and I think at this point, the Plan Commission has to print the amendments under section 610 of Indiana Code, and the amendment takes effect as described in section 610. Is it 2025? What's the ordinance number?
Oh, I'm sorry. The next ordinance number will be 2025 or ordinance is 10.
Thank you. OR 10? Alright. And I did put the center of the road. Piece in there.
All right. Next item up on the agenda is opioid participation package.
So I would real quick, since we're already talking about area plan stuff, we got Plan Commission member here, we got area plan attorney, advisory board attorney here. All right, I would ask that you guys skip down to the area plan job descriptions, permit delays and remediation.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to amend the agenda. Move on.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, no second.
I'll make that unanimous.
I'm only doing that just so we don't, if you guys want to leave, you can. All right, so, I mean, obviously, I think it's no secret, it's been talked about already. While I was out of town, we had a resignation with our Plan Commission director. I think we're in the process for advertising. My understanding is the job.
It was advertised Friday. It came out today's paper, and the job will close, I think, on the 26th. I think that's Friday.
Okay. So, and that's just closing job applications. In the interim, I mean, we need to figure out what we need to do related to, pending variance requests, building permits, all these types of things, and how to handle the situation. So I'll let you guys kind of discuss what your thoughts are, what you want to do.
We need to get someone that's knowledgeable to fill out, file. I don't know the ins and outs. I'm not an expert in this area. I don't know if area plan advisory could offer some opinion, suggestions on this, but I do know I've gotten 2 calls in the last 2 days, very upset, and people potentially losing out money or homes to get down here regarding permits and stuff, and been in here several times. And so I'm open to anything to make sure these people don't lose out a large sum of money for permits and stuff.
Right. I don't know that I have any, I don't know who to put that on. I know I've got a couple of people that have called me as well, and I'm not sure where to direct them. I don't know if the city is going to be willing to assist, or if Jennifer is going to be able to handle that, or, so, no, I don't.
Yeah.
I just want to say, I do need somebody that is going to have access to that, has access to the forms, and generally knows what's going on, so they can get it filed and then it can get to us. And we realize there's obviously things that kind of fall through the cracks. We have talked that we're willing to do some special meetings to try to get through some of these things through, but obviously they still have to be filed for and fees have to be paid.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm open for what you guys decide where we should direct these people from now.
So in the past, we've had one issue like this come up before since I've been here. In that situation, I believe the city plan director agreed. Yes, or is that right? Okay, agreed to kind of step in temporarily and assist us. And I think in a lot of ways that made sense, because when our zoning ordinance was adopted in 2004, it was a true area plan that included the city of Scottsburg. I want to say, John, I don't know if you know the exact time when we split. Both Johns.
I've probably been on the board 9 years, and I think it split probably a year before I was there. I'd say approximately 10 years ago, 12 years ago.
And the only reason I say that is because effectively our ordinance in many ways, absent a couple changes that have occurred since that split, mirrors the city's ordinance. Okay, and changes that they've made, obviously. So she's familiar with, where to find, requirements, restrictions, these types of things. And she understands how to process the paperwork and all the things to get them to Carla and the board so that they can schedule the meetings to have those. I don't think that it's fair maybe to have her do that without some kind of contact person who works for the county or works on behalf of the county to access our internal information. I don't know if we've changed our permits. I don't know where any of those things are located. I don't know who has access to them. But I think that it would be a good idea for you guys to consider essentially appointing somebody to kind of compile, collect, receive, discuss with Carmen, and then present them any applications that come in, variances,
I'm drawing a blank on her name right now. Cryptographer?
Stacy?
Stacy. Does she have any background or anything, since she does the cryptography and everything?
She does have a little bit of knowledge. She would have some of the terminology.
Do you know if she'd be willing to do anything or step in or help be that
Well,
point?
if we have one person taken out of my office, are you suggesting?
No, I'm not taking her out. But to be interim, to assist or whatnot. I don't know if she'd be, I'm sorry, go ahead.
So I know it's definitely, quite frankly, I had the same idea, was to maybe see if she would be willing to step in as the interim, just to, keep the ball moving down there. I have talked with the city, and so I've spoken with the mayor and Carmen, and so both are willing participants to, during working hours for somebody to be down, our contact person to be able to bounce things off, Carmen, to make sure that we're continuing to do business here. That way, that would at least avoid those pitfalls where somebody's waiting on something for weeks at a time, potentially. And then that gives us a couple of weeks to get somebody on board. So I think she does have some knowledge, right? And so And she's been here for a long time, so she knows, how to maneuver around county government. So I kind of thought today that was the best way to kind of keep business moving here until we can move forward with that position. So,
You did talk to Carmen and she's willing?
yes.
Now,
Well,
would she,
and-
sorry, would she be there like the entire day, or would it be better to maybe say, or I could direct people, maybe go from 1 to 3 or something, so that she can kind of do her own stuff and.
The way I see this is, anything that Stacy, can't handle, then she could work directly with Carmen at City Hall. But just because the way everything is mirrored together helps us tremendously downstairs. But quite frankly, I would almost think that she would be better suited sitting down there in the interim for a couple weeks until we get
Can you not
those
direct the
together.
people to my office instead of moving her down there?
We could put put a note on the door and
Well,
Were you talking about putting Stacy down or Carmen? Or asking?
Carmen works for the city.
Yeah. That's, I was,
She is
it
not-
seemed like getting wired here, so I just want to make sure we're clear
Yeah.
for people at home.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I want to make sure.
Well, I guess that's what I was asking. That is what I did today. First person I asked them to just contact you. If that's, if they think that would work better, to just send them to auditor's office.
Yes.
well, I want to point out that Stacy works for Jennifer. So the decision whether or not Stacy can do this goes to Jennifer. I mean, we don't get to decide Stacy can do this. Jennifer has to decide whether or not she can spare the extra person out of her office in that time.
Would it
And
Would it help
respectfully,
you if we kept I heard you just ask, would it help you if we kept Stacy in your office physically?
I think it would be
Yes.
better there. Now, she might have to still go downstairs and look for something
Sure.
like that, but I
We can
think it
turn
would
over
be- yes.
access to the downstairs,
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
files and things to her.
yes.
Yeah.
She can field, again, calls, permit submissions and things like that. And if she has a, question that she needs an answer to that she doesn't know what to do, Carmen is available for consulting about what to do going forward. And we'll try to do it that way.
Yeah, however it works, I just know we have to be able to find a way to continue to do business.
Does that make it easier for
I think
you?
that would make it much easier for us,
Okay.
yes.
well, I'm going to reverse it further back. Are you okay with this?
I can do
This is your employee, this is your office.
I can do this for interim, yes.
Okay.
So,
All right.
All right, so you guys should probably vote on that plan.
Make a motion based on Jennifer's agreement. Stacy be interim and thankful for Carmen's assistance. Anytime being. So, thank
I'll second.
you. Yeah, no.
And I'll make it unanimous.
Um,
And
Jennifer,
we
you
thank
sure?
Stacy and Carmen for their.
yes, yeah, of course. And, I think Carla's putting in a lot of extra time right now as well.
And the mayor as well.
Yeah, and the mayor, and for everybody that's watching, everything is gonna get submitted to Jennifer's office for right now, for a temporary period, till we have a permanent director in place. I don't have a specific date on when that will be, but we will try to assess any of the applications that we get as quickly as possible. Apologize for the delay. All right. I'm also gonna ask to amend the agenda to add an ordinance ordering the auditor to withhold payment for the elected coroner, under an ordinance.
I'll make a motion to amend the agenda.
I think you guys,
Yeah. Sorry.
he's got a motion.
I'll second.
I'll make that unanimous.
If we could, I'd rather just go ahead and do this right now, if you guys are okay with that. Okay. All right. Under, this would be 25 OR 11.
Yes.
Um,
Do you need a letter from the state on that?
No, that's okay. Pursuant to Indiana Code 36-2-14-23, which requires a county coroner to complete a training course as described within Indiana Code 36-2-14-22.3. Indiana Code 36-2-14-23 requires the county coroner to complete the training course within 6 months of taking office. The Scott County Board of Commissioners received notice from the Indiana State Coroner's Training Board that the Scott County Coroner has not timely completed this training. And Indiana Code 36-2-14-23 requires the county executive to order the county auditor to withhold the paycheck of the coroner until such time as the training requirements are met. This is not a discretionary issue. The statute indicates that you, upon this vote by the majority of the board, shall withhold payment in this circumstance. So I'm presenting this to you because, as Jennifer mentioned, we did receive notification that the training course was not timely completed. We do not have proof of completion, and I don't believe that you have any discretion to continue paying because of the nature of the language in the statute. And if anybody wants to blame this on somebody, you can blame it on me.
No, we have to by law and regulations. I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
I'll make that unanimous.
It does have signature lines. Again, aye and nay votes. And for your attestation, Jennifer, separately, we need to discuss what we're doing going forward in the coroner's office, because it's my understanding that we're having to rely on assistance from Floyd County at this point in managing certifications for death certificates and other things. Again, this is not to put any more emphasis on the situation than is necessary, but I think that we need to figure out what we're doing.
I was unaware of that.
And either formally enter into some kind of interlocal with Floyd County for assistance going forward, or, I think we need to get a plan together.
Has the deputy coroner completed all their?
I believe so.
So
I'll say this, based on us getting this brought to us, I mean, other than what you're bringing out, I mean, we don't have any information. right?
Okay.
You know,
Well, I'm not saying you need to do anything right now. I'm saying that it's out there that I think that Floyd County is assisting in some capacity. I think if Floyd County is going to continue to do that for the foreseeable future, I don't know what the plan is right now. I think we need to consider memorializing something with them about that situation.
And I was just thinking, that completely.
The deputy, okay.
I'd like to find out more about all that.
If he falls under that.
Yeah, and I don't know how
He has 1 year,
we're gonna pay him, whether or not
so,
what we pay.
but it's the same statute, just different time
Assume
From what
frame.
I'm saying, it's a year. I don't know.
You know.
Statute.
I'm sure they pay, they probably get paid more than what
From what I was.
Somebody's gonna
Yeah.
have to come in here.
I just wanted to-
I do have a question that I forgot to ask.
Yeah.
That you passed those ordinance changes, but is there an effective date on that? Is that
Um,
effective immediately?
So it does have to be, there's section 610 in the 600 series requires the notice of adoption be prepared by the plan commission after the legislative body approves it.
Okay,
But once you follow section 610, it's effective.
okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
So we have to get the next meeting is effective.
Okay, hang on. I can answer that question better in 1 second.
The reason she's asking, we have someone, probably someone that's reached out to you that's been in limbo for 2 or 3 months trying to get a building in the town.
Yeah.
He was being put off because of this vote.
Okay.
He come to our last meeting. We're willing to have a special meeting to give of the
All right, so
BZA.
section 610 says after adoption of a zoning ordinance under section 606, the plan commission shall publish the notice of adoption in accordance with Indiana Code 5-3-1. The notice of adoption, which the plan commission shall have prepared, must summarize the subject matter of the ordinance, give the date of adoption, specify the places or areas that would be directly affected by the ordinance. The subdivision does not require the identification of any real property by means and bounds description, and specify the penalty or forfeiture prescribed for violation of the ordinance, and give 2 locations open to the public where the entire text of the ordinance is available for inspection. So the 2 places would be auditor's office downstairs in the plan commission room. But once that's all done, then it's effective.
We don't have to do that at a meeting, or can that be done?
I don't believe you have to do it at I mean, the plan commission has to publish it, but if Carla puts it together and publishes exactly what we all agree is the summary of the ordinance, you already have a document that meets that criteria. Unless a zoning ordinance provides for a later effective date, the ordinance takes effect when it is adopted under section 606, subject to section E. So we don't have a section E because we don't prescribe a penalty or forfeiture in this particular ordinance. It's just a text change. So on the day in which it is filed in the clerk's office. So, I mean, I think as long as you all print off and publish a pamphlet indicating where these things are all located, you include it in your packet with the current zoning ordinance, make it available to the public, let everyone know that it's there and it's also in the auditor's office and it's recorded, we're good. All right. I'll look at that. You guys can keep going.
All right, I don't have to.
I don't think we talked about the job description on the area plan.
We don't have that finalized yet.
Okay.
I talked to Lori about that, but I never got a return call from her today, so.
Okay.
And here's that's the job description borrowed earlier.
All right, then, we're gonna go, that all the amended that we need to do, all the amendments that we need to do right now.
No,
We got another one?
I don't have anything.
Oh, so next item up on the agenda is opioid participation package.
Did you have that one for me?
I'm not exactly sure. I know that I got an email on September 4th that asked for a DocuSign completion of secondary manufacturer's national opioid settlement. When you go into the document, it makes it clear that this package is separate from the participation forms in the settlement package that you just approved. Like, this is a totally separate one. I don't know why this was sent to me, but it was only sent to me, so I didn't know if you got one.
I don't know if I want to say the name on camera, so I'm not sure. I got something, but I'm not sure what that was.
Okay. All right. Well, I mean, I guess my situation is one that like it states that each package has one authorized signer. It says if you are the authorized signer, you'll see the opioid implementation administrator sent you a document to review and sign above. If you're not the authorized signer, you will see that they sent you a copy and you're being copied for informational purposes only. I don't know if I can't, there's no way I'm the authorized signer. So
Was it due September 30th? Because I had one and there was a DocuSign that I did and it was for a certain company.
This is from opioid participation and rubrics.com.
Yes, but this other one had another name on it.
Actually, this one says my link has expired. But I mean, so let me get, is there an email with an opioid, a separate package that?
No, I believe it was a package.
Okay. I mean, I don't have anything to
Okay.
do. I mean, I can't sign this. I was out of the country when I received it.
Well, I think that might be the one that I signed in.
Okay. And I think you probably are our authorized signer, but I don't know. I mean, again, this is just, it's participation in a secondary settlement package to receive opioid settlement distribution payments from a separate settlement that is different from any of the settlements that we have previously agreed to participate in.
Okay. All right. So we just need to make a motion that we're going to participate in, right?
Correct. If you want to participate in it.
I make a motion to participate.
I'll second.
I'll make that unanimous.
While we have this, do we have an update as of today's date? What is remaining in the restricted opioid fund?
I can get you one. I don't have it off the top of my head.
Okay.
Like that's number.
What's the name?
The only reason I asked that is because, all right, guys, hang on, the only reason I asked that is because we have received a request from Judge Mount from the Circuit Court Recovery Court for an amount not to exceed $35,000 from the opioid settlement restricted category. I think Recovery Court clearly meets a myriad of criteria that's outlined in the Indiana Attorney General's Office opioid remediation uses and core strategies. He's asking for $35,000 because he believes that that is what would be the shortfall from, I think they applied for a grant, they got less than they asked for, but they expect to get a specific amount from the grant, and then they have some amounts coming back for PD reimbursement. So I think he's estimating at $35,000. That is the request we received. Everybody should have a copy of a resolution to that effect that was sent out today. I know that there's like a pending approval of amounts for the Nazarene Church right now from the same fund. But again, we should be receiving additional opioid settlement distributions over the course of the next
Couple months, right?
30 to 45 days. So I think it would be a good idea to, one, take a look at Judge Mount's request. It's on the resolution. If you have questions about what the Recovery Court does, I think they publish a lot of that stuff, throughout the state. If we could get kind of updates as we go for the next 45 days for our different meetings going forward, just so we can know, because I think, again, based on my recollection of what's available, there would be sufficient funds to cover both the church bid as well as this 35,000, assuming we get additional distributions.
Is there a place we can go and look what the additional appropriations coming in will be?
Well, so I have one estimate from like 2022 that is only an estimate of what should be distributed, what is expected to be distributed under the initial settlement agreement. We've signed 4 since then. That initial expectation for the 2025 fiscal cycle was $100,000+ in the restricted category. The last time we talked, I think we'd only received like 30. So I assume that should be getting more. And each of the settlement packages has different distribution like timelines. There's no specific dates out there. They do it when they do it. So I would just say everybody take a look at that. It'll probably be kind of a rolling issue on our agenda for the next, short while. Because I think that council is requesting, maybe not, council's not requesting, but considering using some form of the restricted funds as part of Judge Mount's 2026 budget, right? Okay. That's all I had.
So I believe we passed that.
Yes.
Okay. Highway Department, CCMG update. Sign room updates. Outerwear updates. Outerwear.
I'm gonna be easy and quick. So CCMD, Bolton Road. Talked with a contractor today. I was out there finishing up the guardrail. They're gonna wedge it. They're hoping to be done by the end of the week, have Bolton Road open back up. I talked to them about Bolton Road being high traffic, high speed road. So far they've wedged every road, but come back and put the driving surface on. So we talked about if you wedge it, you need to get it out and wedge it as smooth as you can. The next one's gonna be Taylor Road. We're still gonna be waiting on that structure for possibly up to 30 more days. So that's gonna delay us just a little bit, but it won't kill us at this point, as early as the year it's in. So that's where we're at on that. The chip seal, that contractor did send their invoice. We just got it about 2 days ago, surprisingly. And we'll be processing that. So that'll be closed out. I just want to cover with you guys, because I haven't talked to you about it yet, is our uniform policy or policy. So we was under contract for 3 years. It expired. We didn't re-sign a contract because we didn't want to stay with them. So when we told them we didn't want to stay with them no more, they took the uniform and they brought all the uniforms back and said that we're under contract by some kind of, because we didn't tell them quick enough or something. So I'll pass that on to Zach and he's going to handle that for us, but just kind of let you know, you may see some paperwork on it, I don't know. But so we're kind of going back and forth with them. That's kind of where we're at. Once we get that settled, then I can kind of see where we're at in their money for the rest of the year and stuff like that. They're acting like they're going to send us a buyout, so we'll let that handle. Let's see, paving operations kind of going on right now. So we're finished Little York today, switched over here, started on Wooster on the 256 end. Probably got around 300 ton done on that. It's a 2,000 ton road, so depending how tomorrow goes, there's a lot of delays at the asphalt plant. It may be Monday before it gets finished, but we're going to shoot for one.
The delays are just busy. Just busy.
It wasn't super busy. It was like the quarry had to do this blasting, so then we had to wait, and then DOT was pulling the trucks over the DOT sections. No, not our truck, because that's what that says. Our truck, we had contractors calling. They don't know it's a contractor truck. Anyway, that's the problem. But not our truck. Yeah. Oh, I just covered the signs real quick. It's kind of a big deal for us. We've been working on the sign room forever. We're almost there. We're getting our material in this week that we ordered. Denver History kind of spearheaded it, done a good job getting it all together. We've got one bridge with a structural critical now because it doesn't have the right signage on it. With the emergency signs, you've probably seen them where they have the 3 different tonnages on them. So that's a requirement now. That has to be, no questions asked. It's like a 30-day, you gotta get that fixed. So we're working on that. But that's my complaint all the time. They're probably in somebody's barn. But the only other thing I have is a different picture, but the same one.
Is the one you sent us an email? Oh,
No, that's the stop signs. So I would like to take this to the council to see maybe, it wasn't anything I had planned for this year, but it's something that came up, and it's a loader that actually the city of Jeffersonville owns right now. They're gonna upgrade to a new one. We went out and looked at the machine. It has a lot of life left in it. We have a need for a machine. Wilson Equipment is handling the deal. They gave me this, which is they offered, if they didn't advertise it, if they was able to make the deal, that they could sell it for the $39,000 price.
do we trust the city of Jeffersonville?
Yeah, we went out and looked at it. We think it's a good machine. I don't like necessarily buying these equipment. I just thought it was an opportunity because we was able to go down and talk to the guys that run it every day, and come to the municipality, and it seems like maybe an opportunity. So I just like to take that to the council to see if they can fund it, or if they can't, if they can't.
Okay, easy enough.
Just curious. You said it's with the city.
Yeah, city of Jeffersonville.
Why is this?
Wilson.
Yeah.
So Wilson sold them a new machine. They traded it to Wilson.
Oh, okay.
So Quincy Lauer, he sold that stuff for us too. But so Quincy calls us because he knows we need a loader. Hey, Jefferson, you want a loader? So then we all got together. See, so he's like, if we don't advertise it and you're interested in it, there's your price. So basically, I mean, it's an old machine, but it's a lot better than what ours is. And just so you know what ours is a 96, and it only has 2 gears that work in it. And I got a quote, the bucket fell apart once this year, and I got a quote on getting the bucket fixed right. And I got a $7,000 quote and a $10,000 quote for a new bucket for a $5,000 machine. So I think we're probably in line for a used machine.
You do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sounds good.
Ready to make anything to take that to the council, or just a yep?
No, if you want to take it to them and they'll hear you out, and if they appropriate the funds before you sign anything, you just come back to us once the funds are appropriated, and we'll let you know.
Okay. And then following up on the email about stop signs, down Kinderhook.
And so I went out there. Bill went out there once and done some measuring, and he called me and he was like, I don't know. So I went out there and done some measuring too. And I think the closest corner you can compare that to is Crazy Corner, which is West Lake and South Lake Road. They're almost identical on how they're laid out. And it's set up in a weird 4-way stop. So just like I put in there, I think you can easily justify stop signs because of the site issue. The one charts I looked up, 55 mile an hour, it suggests 600 feet to make a left or right hand turn. I'm 6'4", I walk down and I can only see 200 feet. I think you could justify it coming to the west. With that being said, there's enough site distance on the other one, but where the roads are so close, it's real similar to West Lake and South Lake. So I think making it a 4-way is what we'd have to do.
Yeah.
And I think you sent me all
I
the
think
stuff.
if you need more, let me know. I can.
No. If we could go ahead and just mark it for, we need to advertise. When's our first meeting in October? I know there's something on the agenda about changing the time.
Yeah, it should be the 1st, but we will be at the fall conference that day.
Okay.
And I will not be here for the second meeting in October.
You won't be here. Okay. Well, we have enough time to get it. we have enough time to get it advertised for, the first meeting.
Right. We just need, if we change it tonight, we can go ahead and advertise it for whatever date we change it to.
So let's just plan on the idea that we will do an advertisement for an ordinance, creating a four-way, at the locations that you described. I will draft the ordinance. Jennifer, I'll send that to you. And then if you would just advertise it the same way we advertised the public hearing tonight
Okay.
for the zoning change, just use that format
Okay.
that we came up with that, but this time it's gonna be for a four-way, an ordinance for a four-way stop sign. We'll
I'll
have,
draft that up and just send it to you for approval, and then I'll send it to the
Yeah.
paper.
we'll have a public hearing at that October 1st, meeting, whatever time y'all decide we start the meeting at.
I want to piggyback on that for a minute. Slab and cut y'all. I mean, the
So-
road we're talking about here.
So here's, the MUTCD manual is that big on stop signs. So there's several different criterias you can justify a stop sign. Site issues being one, and speeds being one. Let me go down and see what the site issue, speeds that, there isn't anywhere that, I think we ran into the same situation on Little York and Finley Firehouse. Went out, done some measuring, it's like, well, it's not the site issue. And there was accidents on that, same with slab.
Fatality accidents.
Fatality accidents, yeah. It was probably a speed, you didn't see the car coming, I don't know, don't know what it was. So we done a intersection upgrade. I don't know if you've seen that, but maybe if you get a chance to go out through there. It's Finley Firehouse and Little York Road.
Yeah.
Added some lines, added some signs on each side of the four-way crossing. So let me dig into slide before. I know we have before, but let me dig into it a little more. And see if I can come up with some kind of justification. I don't know if we won't get a site, it's like line of sight on that. It's long.
I don't either. I just know about every 6 months there's a wreck there and it's always bad.
Maybe,
Normally takes out the church.
so, every stop sign that we have done so far, I've contacted Will sent me, it's like, on that area, no wrecks, right? Bowman Road, I think I had like one right in that section. I don't know that there's necessarily a section in that book that says this many wrecks.
Oh, I don't think there is.
Yeah, so, but I mean, could you guys make that on your discretion saying, there you go? So let me work on that.
Didn't we consider a stop sign there? at
We
one
did,
point?
and but I think there's been a couple accidents since then, so.
So, yeah, I mean, everything has a certain, has to warrant a certain level, right, before it can move forward. And so, even in the meantime, I mean, we could always try to mitigate that with, maybe double posted stop signs if we have that right away for that. With the reflective tape maybe on the signpost. I mean, there's some ways that we can try to mitigate, the side.
And I kind of go right back to the sign room. I mean, we're almost in the game. Now we can do better, but signs are expensive, poles are expensive. And we didn't have really either one. We've asked for a little more money on our budget for signs because for 26 years. We did transfer some money earlier out of rock into sign posts so we could get this room started. So hopefully moving forward, we'll be able to do
Pavement
those.
markings.
And we can, I mean, that's your discretion. You can always let me know. I mean, I think accidents on that section.
Yeah.
Your own discretion could be
And
it could be a one.
I think Kevin has always done the right thing, which is go back to the manual, see if he can justify the situation. I will say, I think that's correct to do it that way. If you all want to put a stop sign in a location, you can do that.
Yeah.
I do think that you need to take into considerations the things that the manual takes into consideration. Because again, I think it is created by experts, designed to address these issues. And in relying on that, I think you're always going to come to, a grounded decision.
Yeah.
I think if you're saying we have a specific issue that's not necessarily covered, but it's a safety concern, that's different, but we have the authority to create an ordinance that allows Kevin to install a stop sign.
Yeah, every engineering decision goes back to the NUTC.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a good reference. It's easy to justify things, but it's just black and white there. So kind of, measure it out. There it is.
I know the families will appreciate having Kendrick and Reeves. I know they've had many close calls walking or being around that area, so.
I honestly never paid attention to I went there. Definitely pop over the hill cliff.
Yeah.
It was, like I said, it's real similar to Crazy Corner. Almost reminds you if you're sitting there. But we'll get that one going and we'll look aside and see what you want to do there.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
All right, thanks. All right. So the next item up on the agenda is an RFP for the insurance.
And it's not necessarily for insurance, it's for our agent of record who will then go out. Whomever you all decide is the agent of record will then go out, and bid any individual insurance, whether that be casualty, whatever your all's decision is as it relates to that. There's proposed RFP with a schedule of criteria to be used, a schedule of deadlines and things for agents to submit proposals to you, sealed. There's a schedule to open them in a public meeting, consider them based on the criteria that's in the RFP, and then make a decision about who you think has the best service option. I will say this is a services contract. There is no specific requirement in the public purchasing laws that you follow any one formula or methodology for obtaining an agent of record. I think it's actually most counties just take whoever they want. But there's nothing wrong with doing an RFP. And I do think that it would be something that would be beneficial in this circumstance. That's my suggestion. I believe that and I would recommend it to you.
Yep. Wholeheartedly.
Do I have a motion to?
Has everybody seen the RFP proposal?
Is it anything?
Yes.
When you said that.
Yes. Yeah. Cool. It has all the deadlines and things in there. It has what will be advertised and sent out, where to submit proposals to. If you approve it, I would suggest that each of you, it's going to be advertised, but I would suggest that each of you, if you have
There's been
individual groups that are, contacting you about this situation, please, individually provide those things so we can get as many proposals as possible and get the best option for the county.
Will do. Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second the RFP.
All right, and I'll make that unanimous. All right, next item up on the agenda is council request fund for donated funds for the Scott County Youth Advisory.
And so I'm here on behalf of the Scott County Council to ask that you would create a fund for us for the Scott County Youth Program, which is the advisor program, which is a program that we intend to start to bring a senior in high school in to join with us on the council. We've received some donations from some state legislators, then I just need a non-reverting fund to be able to put those donations into to cover the cost incurred in that program.
So these are donated funds.
Yes, sir.
Tell me a little bit about how you see this working.
So this program is used by a couple of other councils around the area, and the student chosen would receive from IU a $500 scholarship for just coming and sitting and joining in on this, discussions, and it would allow the youth of our county to have a voice in some of the decisions that are made. And it would have to be a senior that is 17 or 18 in their senior year. That way they would receive the scholarship, be able to go on to further their education with IU if they so choose. Obviously, you can't make any votes, but much like we allow the citizens to talk to us during meetings, we would allow a youth or a young, a senior age person sit and speak on behalf of their feelings on how things would happen, that decisions that are being made that are going to affect them as becoming an 18-year-old adult that's eligible to vote and make decisions on their own and possibly join in our government someday.
What's some of the, you said some of the local councils do this, who actually does it?
So the closest one is Jeffersonville, and then Clarksville has entertained the idea of it, and I think Floyd County is talking about it as well.
Because I know like in Jackson, for instance, of course, they have their meetings during the day. And, they encourage the high school government class, the kids get to come over and set into their meetings, not participate, obviously, in their commission meetings, but get to take it in and hopefully they get something out of that.
And for this, it would be, a student would be chosen with the assistance of the school. Probably for this year, we're only gonna be able to use like Scott District 2 because we're so close in proximity, but I'd like to, once we have more room, obviously, be able to get one student from Austin, Scottsburg, or maybe join in with you guys, and you have one, we have one, whatever works for the county. But allow both schools the opportunity to enter into this program, and they have to be recommended by at least 2 letters of recommendation from either a teacher, a youth mentor, something that they're involved in that says why they're fit, and then write a 1-page paper that would be presented to the council members to read and then chosen in that form or fashion.
So I guess one more thing, and I'm just venting this stuff out here.
Mm-hmm.
So what happens, because, sometimes the council meetings don't go very well sometimes, right? With maybe some language and, how are you planning on trying to mitigate everybody's?
So I think much like our life, I mean, whenever you're in the presence of kids, hopefully you act a little bit better yourselves, and I think we would as well.
So if you're bringing in a kid though, in those environments, some of them could be under 18 years old.
Well, it has to be at least 18 to be eligible for the scholarship.
Or to turn 18 by the time they go to school, right?
So, I mean, you would have to, primarily you would be an 18-year-old
You're right.
child,
No,
yes.
That's, by the time they get the scholarship.
Yeah.
Um,
Adult age, mature.
And- Yeah, I mean,
And while I don't condone language that has been said, and I've many times talked to people behind the scenes about that and tried to be better while we're sitting there, I do appreciate passion in what we all do, but I can assure you that anything that's been said in this meeting, they've heard somewhere else too. But
well, that's probably true, but, I'll just look at it like, that's just another thing probably on your all's plate to worry about.
to be better, yeah, I'll take that as a challenge any day.
Yeah, well, and it should be. But as long as I don't know, I guess, as long as the funds are being donated.
It is all donations, yes.
So you just want a non-reverting donation fund?
Yes, sir.
I think this is a great pilot program to get kids involved, or.
That's what's scary. The
Or not
pilot
kidding.
program is here.
But,
That's why I'd like to be able to reference someplace else.
Yeah.
Jeffersonville has a program that's it's basically the same from what I didn't hear the initial, but I heard what you said.
Almost identical.
It's basically identical.
They receive the same scholarship, same everything.
Yeah.
Look great on the college application.
Yeah. I know they did it for 1 year as like a test kind of situation, or that was my understanding. But then I think they've now gone into like the second person has applied to go through with it. But I mean, creation of the fund, that's up to you guys. The restrictions on the uses for the funds, you know, if we're just saying it's donations, you know, we have funds like that currently in the county. So that, I mean, that's all up to you.
I want to commend you on the idea. I'm not saying no, but I would like to table this and give this some thought. I'd like to talk it over with Zach and see a little bit more about what's going on before I make my decisions on one thing I want to say.
I would, if you guys, I mean, if you have questions, I would say maybe if you have something for me, that's fine. You can individually contact me and we can talk about it. If you have a question about what the person does or would it be expected to do, I mean, if we're modeling this off of Jeffersonville, I would just suggest just go watch the Jeffersonville City Council meeting. And you can see kind of what is it like the student?
It's a youth advisor.
Youth advisor does. They, you know, present on different things every once in a while. They might have something, but if you just like pick a meeting out and watch, you'd be able to see kind of.
Do you have
what
any reservations on this?
Oh, no, not me. But I'm not voting. I'm not saying I'm for it, against it. I'm just saying there are other municipalities that operate this way. They do this. I think that if you asked those municipalities about their program, I think they could probably speak better to this, you know, what they think about it than I can. I can tell you that what I do know is they've continued the program.
Yeah. In my personal opinion, I'm ready to move forward with it. If y'all aren't, then I understand.
On the surface, I don't have no reason not to agree with it. I just want to give it some thought.
When would this, so this would go into effect now, right? Or-
Yeah, potentially, and the funds are ready to be delivered to us whenever, but I have to have a creation to accept those into. The scholarship is in place, they are on board. All we would need would be the fund created, put the money in, and then contact the schools to start the process. I don't think it would be immediate, but start the process of gathering information as to a pool of people who may be interested in this type of thing.
Is there any harm in creating the funds and then we could reject the donations? If
Here's
the majority of
the one thing I would say is if you have reservations about the program itself, I wouldn't create the fund and accept donations into the fund, because I think when somebody donates, there's an expectation.
Yeah.
It's donation and contemplation of
Yeah.
a specific use for those funds. I don't want to take control of funds if we're not going to go forward with the program.
Yeah, I don't want anything like to wait and possibly lose them, or if there's something else going on, yeah, et cetera. Like where they're coming from, resources and whatnot. That was just my line of thinking.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing also, I mean, there's a couple of things with this for me. I just, in my mind, this is not just a slam dunk thing, but, yeah, and I would really like to see those funds, when they're distributed in. You know,
In what
so,
form you want?
well, I want to, well, just anything, even if it comes from the auditor's office or somebody that says, here's what was donated by this person.
Okay.
We can put that in the ordinance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, you know, we get into all these potential, you know, increases on, you know, taxes, bonds, this and that. I just want to make sure that we are seeing where this money is actually coming in at.
That's easy enough.
I'm assuming the donations come from third parties, right?
State Representative Zach Payne committed $1,200 to the program. He was
Okay.
committed to it.
All right. is there like a timeline that he wants an answer for?
I mean, obviously his family's undergoing
Yeah.
birth of a new child, so I
He's a little
called him and
preoccupied
asked him
right
like exactly when. He said, let me know when you need it and I'll get it to you.
Could we table it for tonight and then we can draft up? I mean, I would have requested to draft up an enabling ordinance that creates the statute, the fund, I'm sorry. If you want to put some stuff in the fund about, we would have put things in there about non-reverting, that it's to receive and disperse donations consistent with the certain criteria. And then we would, if you want to put something else in there about like, upon receipt of a donation, the auditor shall report, whom the donation was made by, when, and I don't have any issue with adding that, something like that to the ordinance that creates the fund.
That'd be good.
Okay. So I can do that by the next meeting.
Do you need me
that's up
back
to
for that, or
guys.
you guys good?
That's whatever you want.
I think you need to be back.
Good, fair enough. Thank you.
Thanks, sir.
All right. West Bank will purchase of the US Bank loan, which is the ambulance.
So there was, make sure I get the right one. All right. There was a ordinance authorizing the president of the Scott County Board of Commissioners to execute loan documents necessary to acquire a loan for the financing of an ambulance for Scott County EMS. The title is a little, maybe not misleading, but it basically, we are trying to effectively refinance, basically, if everybody understands what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I don't know the exact language of the agreement that West Banco has prepared in response to your guys' initial request to do this. But basically, we would either be allowing West Banco to acquire the balance of the already existing loan or refinancing the loan through West Banco so that we would move our obligations over and payments over to them. Again, I think the purpose of this is based on protecting assets within the county and to avoid any potential default caused by cross-collateralization clauses and other county financing agreements. For the resolution that I sent to everybody, the amount of any loan or refinance through West Banco shall not exceed $250,000. That is the number that was provided to me by West Banco. So we kept it fairly simple, but it allows the president to go ahead and execute documents in order to do this, so we don't risk what has been threatened related to our current ambulance.
Yeah.
And we already have this ambulance, we own it. This was all done back in 24 for the original financing agreement.
Do you know if there's any early termination fees from this US Bank?
I don't. I have the financing agreement. What I know is, again, the $250,000 is the number that West Banco provided to acquire. And they have all the documents already prepared. They just need someone to sign them.
So the ambulance is already paid off. The radios, did we pay off the radio or?
I don't think the ambulance is paid off.
Oh, no, it's not paid off? Okay, I thought we'd already, I thought it was taken care of. Okay.
Just the first payment was.
Okay, there we go. All right. That's
Made it down
so it's
payment.
being transferred. Gotcha.
Yes, and I don't know if transferred right, but
Yeah.
I think that the resolution contemplates the idea that it could be a transfer.
Yeah.
But I think
There we
West
go.
Banco has essentially prepared all the documentation that they believe is necessary, the number that they have given to us that they would need, to acquire the balance does not need to exceed $250,000.
Yeah.
That's from representatives from West Banco.
Yeah.
So the payoff's actually a little bit more than that, but, Nick said that he would use the remainder of those from his funds
To
pay
cover
the difference to cover that. So we begin with a 250 balance, which pays down that ambulance. Then it goes into semi-annual payments, which are better for him and his bookkeeping there as well.
So so that answers your question. I apologize. I think that all this was like discussed between representatives from the county, West Banco, and how to do this the best way.
To my knowledge, there's no early termination fees. They sent a 10-day payoff or whatever it's called,
Yeah.
the payoff request. There was nothing in there for an early termination of a contract.
So
So I know you
balance-
guys worked hard on that and I appreciate it. You did a good job.
I trust you. I don't know if I necessarily trust US Bank at this point, after the stunt they
I
pulled.
don't-
Well,
we never do
They
that.
worked with us too to,
Let's,
yeah.
I'll make a motion to approve this, get away from the US Bank.
I second that.
I'll make it unanimous.
all right. There are signature lines for yeses and attestation clause, and Randy, representatives from West Banco will be in contact about what they need from you to finalize everything. And if they need something from Nick, I guess they'll contact him as well. And that's ordinance 12, OR 12, 2025 OR 12.
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry.
All right, West Bank OP cards.
Everybody
Purchase card.
should have gotten a copy of an ordinance I sent out, I think last month sometime. Has everybody had an opportunity to review the ordinance for the acquisition of the West Bank OP card? Are you all guys okay with?
Yeah, and I want to thank Wes Coleman for calling.
Yes.
Explaining that as well.
Yeah, it's a good program.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I would second that.
And I'll make that unanimous.
I think so.
All right, the next item up on the agenda is transfer station bank account. So basically what we're asking for is a reverting fund for the transfer station.
So I think we've already done that part. Actually, this is a request from the county treasurer's office for the fund. The fund exists. The treasurer is asking for authority to open a separate account in the name of the county on behalf of the Scott County Transfer Station to deposit and disperse funds from. And the bank has indicated that they want a resolution from this board before we do that.
Yes.
I approve the transfer account.
I'll second.
Then I'll make that unanimous.
That would be ordinance number 14.
Do we have anything we need to sign for that?
I thought I just passed it down to you.
You did? All right, the next item on the agenda is going to be the Visitors Commissioner Fund creation.
So this
Visitors Commission, sorry.
Yes. This is an ordinance that establishes, it's not a bank account, this is a fund. And basically it would be a special non-reverting fund to be known as Scott County Visitors Commission Fund, into which will be deposited funds received for services and donations. Scott County Visitors Commission Fund shall exist until terminated. The monies received in the fund shall be used at the direction and discretion of the Scott County Visitors Commission Board for purposes that meet the criteria established in the Commission's enabling statute. Basically, we have a innkeeper's tax fund where we receive innkeeper tax payments, but we don't have a location within the budget to receive donations or other kind of payments and things that are made to the Visitors Commission for like services, if there's something like a pass-through at some point and we're doing something. And I think that this is part of compliance with SBOA recommendations. So again, we would not be creating an account with this. We would just be creating a fund. And Jennifer, I sent you, I would make one change to the copy that's coming around. For Jennifer, there is a word in paragraph 2, numbered paragraph 2. And then one of the numbered paragraphs is also wrong.
Do you want me to go reprint that one?
Yes, if we could do the signed version with the changes. They're not substantive changes.
So go ahead and sign this.
No, we want to do a different one for signature.
We're going to do a different one.
Yeah.
So this is trash.
You can trash that.
Did we vote?
We've not voted on it.
I'll make a motion to approve it.
I'll second the fund.
I'll make that unanimous.
Oops, the way Microsoft.
You're an Apple man.
I am. I grew up in a
Me too.
household with graphic design was this ordinance number 15?
Booze.
The treasurer, West Banco thing.
14 is one thing.
We'll just wait on that. Was the West Banco, was the account creation one, was that 14?
Yeah, for the bank account, yes, that's 14.
Okay, so this is 15.
Yes.
I think we need to put 14 on the Banco one.
Oh, yeah, okay. Do you want to put that one on there so the writing's the same?
Oh, I'm sorry.
If you want to put the 14 on there.
All right. Next item on the agenda is satellite station updates.
So satellite station, and some of this was caused by me being out of town. We have to submit a formal permit change request to close the transfer. I'm sorry, not the transfer station. Sorry, I'm not trying to freak anybody out. To close the satellite stations. In order to do that, I do, and I'm not saying that we're closing them effective after this meeting, but I need you guys, if that is your decision, to authorize me to submit a letter detailing a change request to IDEM's permit coordinator that specifically outlines why we're making the request, what we're asking to change about our current permit, and ask for them to approve it.
Has there been any follow-up or follow-on for additional service from any contractors to take on or any,
Again,
like residential service, or has anyone like Gary, whatever his name was?
If there was, we would not be.
No, I just didn't know if anyone had seen any flyers or if any communications to citizens saying, hey, we're gonna be picking up your area now, or meet us here type thing. But that was just a general question for public awareness.
Yeah, but that's between the individuals who needs trash service and the people who provide it. We won't be involved with that.
No, yeah, just trying to ways where.
So she's indicating, again, she just needs a submitted letter notification explaining the change permit. And they will make changes or revisions and then send it back, approved or not. I mean, I don't know how we're gonna do this if they don't approve it, if we don't have any money that's appropriated in 2025, or 2026, but,
if you guys, communication with Todd, like his contract or his work agreement and, all that stuff too.
So there's no contract with.
Well, I know there's not, but he's, from my understanding, last time I talked to him, he's still doing it. And so if there's been like a cutoff date or, I don't know, a notice or whatever, like discontinuous of service type thing.
you're right. If that's the direction, there certainly has to be a date.
and once the permit change is approved, one of the things I'm gonna include in the letter notification is like, can you provide we
Drop dead, like.
a date upon which satellite stations will be closed effective this date?
Yeah, and what I took from the last council meeting, it was, they were waiting, I think, on our direction. But the direction that I've gotten from some of the council members is that there's no money there to fund it. So
That's
I think that makes it, it's pretty clear as far as that direction goes. But regardless, and I don't know where we're at with the stickers and what's our inventory there.
We have plenty because we did go ahead and order some more. We have had some people come to the counter, but not a lot.
Yeah, so.
There's one thing I'd like to bring up real quick.
Yeah.
So the transfer station, we have an issue here because the transfer station is taking in all these bags of trash and they've got all these stickers on them. So the station, transfer station is not getting revenue from them. But it's having to pay to get rid of the trash. I'm okay if that's what this board wants to do, but I gotta make it clear that the transfer station will not cover all the expenses if it's having to pay to get rid of this trash that it does not receive money for, which is, kind of goes without saying, right?
It's been upside down.
Yeah. But I just want to make it clear to everybody. I mean, and I'm not talking about you. I know you've been in this for a while, but I got to make it clear that the scales cannot, we're just charging people the exact amount of what they should be getting charged. So it will be behind if it doesn't receive the money from the Sasco bags. But you're paying Todd, so there's a squeeze play going on there, right?
Right. No, you're right. So that's
the only comment I want to make.
We need to.
Gotta get some planning done.
We don't really have, I mean.
Do what?
We don't.
Gotta have some planning, some forward thinking, or,
I don't think we really have a choice. I mean, we know what the end result, we don't want that end result. I sure don't want it.
Yeah.
But I don't see the path forward to continue to finance those areas. I just don't see it. And there doesn't seem to be a big appetite from the council to continue to try to scrape and find money in other areas to support it when there's no place probably to get it.
Yeah, we're out of money.
Yeah, and so, but we need, and you bring up a great point. I mean, I think we need to just draw the line and figure out when that date is. And then to your point, I mean, then that gives potential vendors opportunities to go out and say, hey, we're looking to do business in these areas and talk with the people who actually own the properties, right? So,
and then people get rid of the stickers they've already acquired.
Right.
And not waste their money.
That's right. It gives, by doing that, it can eliminate a few things and then help with some things as well. So I think we certainly need to find that date. And I don't know what that good date is.
So would you like me, if you guys want to do this way, what I can do is, if you guys vote to allow me to, I can, on behalf of the county, submit the notification for a change to the permit that's being requested or that they need to move forward. And I'll put in the notification, the county, hopes that IDEM will approve this effective on a date in the future so that we can notify our citizens.
Yeah. Perfect. Yeah, I'm good with that.
About this change.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion.
That's perfect.
Jennifer, how much money is in that?
In what, the Sasco?
In the Sasco? How is there enough money to pay Todd?
No. I mean, we'll have to shore that up. We're already negative in that. We have not sold enough stickers to pay the contract we've taken out. So I mean, it would
So
be
there's
great
your-
if that
there's your
date
other
could be
issue.
September 30th, so we wouldn't have to carry it into October, but I think we're probably too close to being able to do that.
I mean, that's another issue. So it's the council's problem. Because they're the ones who have to come up with the money, but.
We have no money.
Right. So that's the question. Are we going to force the council to come up with?
We don't want to make it their problem, right? I mean, that's the thing.
And that's on the cash side. Now, if you look at their location budget, there is money appropriated there, but it was supposed to come out of the Sasco fund that the cash did not generate. So, to be clear.
Yeah, but the money to pay Todd is not there.
There's not cash in that fund.
Yeah.
Haven't made a motion to, on the permit, and I'll second.
To.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, on you, yes. I'm
Just-
sorry. I'll make that unanimous.
think. So, just since we're on kind of a similar subject, we have received the final approved qualified settlement order. I want to say that we got that while I was out of town. I forwarded it
Actually, I got the approval yesterday by paper.
by paper. Okay, I think I got a digital copy while I was out and I forwarded it.
$6,700.
Yep, so I think that those are, and you've already, you've indicated that you were setting those for payment or, yeah.
That should be paid Friday.
Okay, all right. Cool.
We still need to be figuring out a date.
Yeah.
But
For
I know
closure.
that doesn't, I like the wording that you're using for the permit,
Yeah.
but I mean, I just want
If you want
this
to pick a
board
date, if you
to
want to,
be thinking
if you
about
want to
that.
pick a date right now, that's
I-
up to you guys.
I'm not saying we probably know what that date is. I just think everybody should really, based on what we have out there.
Yeah.
What we have left, you say we got plenty left, but
What, stickers? Oh, yeah, we got a lot of stickers.
so that's not an issue, but we just need to
Well,
take some things into consideration here.
Yeah, the stickers aren't the issue, paying for the stickers, but the issue is
And if we're not gonna
how
sell
we're gonna pay
anymore,
Todd to pick them up. But now what we could do is, since the stickers are still out there, we could continue to take the stickers into the transfer station.
absolutely, yeah.
And your guys at the transfer station
But at
are
some
putting
point in
down
time, we gotta stop.
how many stickers they're getting.
Marketing.
Yeah, they are keeping track of that.
But at some point in time here, we've got to stop. I don't want to owe Todd more money than we have to pay him. That's the only comment I can make. I don't know how else to put it.
I mean, whether that's November 1 or.
Well, it's already, that's what I'm saying. We're
Yeah,
already broke.
right, and that's what I'm saying. But I know folks have probably got enough stickers to get through a month. I'm just spitballing stuff.
Yeah, I would say like 60, 90 days, just to give them plenty of time and then pick some up. But I also don't know how many stickers are out and then, but that's my military mind thinking. Like
Well, I mean,
10, 50,
most people's
25,
gonna buy
50.
a couple of sheets,
Yeah.
I mean, I would think.
I mean, we're going to set the stickers at the transfer station as long as they're stickers.
Yeah.
And if they're Scott County stickers.
Right.
I'm not going to let anybody buy stickers. I mean, none
We'll
of us
honor
is
them.
going to let
That's right.
anybody buy stickers and say, well, you're stuck with that. We would honor the stickers, but
Yeah, good point.
it's just a matter of the money isn't there to pay Todd. That's the only issue.
Yeah, and Todd deserves that notice as well, so.
Yeah. You know, being a business owner myself, I would not feel comfortable. Somebody not telling me that they don't have the money to keep paying me.
Yeah, but based on what you guys said, I'm gonna go ahead and send everything.
Absolutely.
Okay, all right.
I think we're just trying to decide when we're gonna have the vote on this. Obviously, I'm not trying to say we need to vote on tonight, but
I think it's something everybody needs
you
to
think we
be
need
thinking
to
about.
maybe
Come back to the next
vote on
meeting.
the next meeting?
Yes.
Come back with some next meeting.
You're all right voting on the next meeting?
Yeah, I'm good with the next meeting.
Okay, Jim, would you add that to our next meeting? Okay. We kicked that horse to death. Johnson Controls proposal for the jail.
Yeah, I emailed this to you the other day. This is something Jerry sent over that's needed for the jail, so.
Okay. So I think this is for, contract for materials and work performed in an amount of $1,420.22 for a crankcase heater and solenoid valve replacement. I think kind of two things. I think, obviously there are some things that I don't want to discuss in a public meeting at this point in time. But what I would say is that regardless of the outcome of any ongoing disagreements, we have an obligation as the commissioners to provide a jail. And I think we have an obligation to provide a jail that meets, certain minimum standards and doesn't put anybody in danger, or, any malfunctioning systems put somebody in danger. It's pretty specific that there's been a bad compressor in the crank heater and the solenoid coil. This is to replace those things. What I would say is you could execute the agreement, and whether that should be allocated as to the sheriff's budget or a different fund, I think we can leave for a different time. I would say for right now, you say that it comes from the sheriff's fund. If it's determined at a later date that that's not the case, monies can always be transferred or appropriated back into that fund to reimburse for the costs associated. But that's my suggestion, just based on the way what the contract says is for and the situation. But
we have to have standards, like you said. So I'll make a motion to approve it.
A different comment there is, the building is the county's building. The responsibility of deciding what needs to be fixed is the sheriff's. I'm not a member of the council. So for me, I'm going to approve for him to get the air conditioner fixed. I mean, I may be oversimplifying it, but that's.
That's fine.
Yeah, I approve as well.
Yeah, I've already made a motion.
Is there something somewhere in here?
I don't think there's really anything to sign.
I thought I saw.
There is
On the back.
no, there is a signature line under.
I got it.
Make sure, Randy, I'm not sure that's the right, is that correct?
That's not
It's got
correct.
my name on.
No,
I think that's something different.
it's right here.
That was a scrap piece of paper too.
Oh, that's not part of this? No, it ain't, is it? Did you stick that in there, Counselor?
No, I did
not.
that. I did that. Because I wanted his original note, but it wouldn't feed through the scanner, so I had to scan it and copy it. But I wanted you to see the original note.
Craig, can you press that down there? That's just a copy of the ordinance from the last meeting, I think.
Next item on the agenda is VSO part-time position and location.
Just to let you know, we did advertise that. We received no applicants for the part-time.
Okay. Actually, we had already talked about that, I'm sorry. Courtyard use permit.
Yes, I submitted that. Sunday at 2:00, Charlie Kirk's funeral is gonna be happening. So from 1 to 1:30, it's gonna, hopefully, if the board approves, hold a vigil, remembrance prayer, moment of silence, whatever anyone would like to come join us at the courtyard. Please join us if this is approved. And if anyone would like to come say a few words or just come hang out, be with people for his funeral, just be with people.
I know that there's a lot of people doing like a candlelight ceremony.
Yeah, being 1:30 in the afternoon, 1:30, I could definitely get candles, for sure. I didn't know if people would be on board with that, but I could definitely acquire some.
I'm asking maybe doing it at nighttime, like 9 o'clock or something.
I'll check with, there was several other people from the party and everything that recommended that time, but I'll check. And say, would it be okay if we adjust the time? If that came to it?
So I think what we could do is, so we have a permit application, essentially, these are pretty regularly approved for different groups. I think that if the question is, do you do it at a specific time? If you wanted to I think what you have is the submitted time that
1:30
is
His
being
funeral starts at-
requested. If you want to,
Yeah.
if you find out that there's a preference or, either of you guys, and you want to, increase that, I think what you could do is you could say that you're approving the permit application, but you'll allow for subsequent modification for a different time or times on the same day for the same use with the same,
I've reached out to several religious leaders and asked what times they'd be available. Some came back with a little later time and some came back a little earlier. So I could get a, estimate on that. And
I don't see any
I'm good
issue
with it.
I don't see any issue with it after the fact coming back and, if we have a situation where it is later or it's easier for everybody later, you can ratify the decision to allow a later time frame on that day. I don't see any issue with any of those things.
Whatever everybody wants to go with. I know Jackson County, they're doing theirs Saturday evening, for instance. So there's events going on around the area, and I certainly support this. And I've had people, quite frankly, reach out and ask. And I think there may have been something done.
Prayer circle done last weekend.
Which I didn't know anything about. So I said, and then those folks didn't either. So now there is interest in this, and I support whatever time you guys want.
I've had several people just reach out to me though and just say that they want to do a candlelit thing with, I guess, the cups and the.
Again, I think
the candles. I don't know if that's what everybody's doing.
If the board as a majority wants to approve the use that's been submitted and also allow for additional events on that day related to the purpose. If we could just update somebody on the specified time ranges, and then you guys can go advertise how you want to whomever wants to participate in any one program.
Yep, I think whatever that is, these be, kind of decided fairly quickly. I mean, it's Wednesday night, right?
Yeah, I
So,
already have several flyers pulled up and made. I just need to put in the time. I have one from 1 to 1:30 and then one for a little bit later. So there's nothing, like Zach said, we could have several.
I don't see any issue with you guys approving it with the understanding that you're also agreeing that the courtyard application will include additional times during the day that will be available for people.
Yeah. Reach out, communicate with us, and let us know.
Do we have any, we're not already promised on this date?
No one else has asked for that date now.
Okay.
that's
You know,
good.
you can reserve the whole date if you want.
Yeah.
I'll
Yeah,
make a
let's
motion
do
I
to,
think that's good.
Let's do that.
Just
I'll make a motion to
reserve the whole date.
Yeah.
reserve
Second.
the day, the whole day.
Yeah, got it.
Yeah, I'll make that unanimous.
And you guys can plan around
Yeah.
how you want to do
Yeah.
it, when you want to do it.
10-4.
All right. All right. So the next item on the agenda is change for a meeting time for the 1st of October, which our October meeting would have fell on the 1st, right?
Yeah.
Would have fell on the 1st, and you have a thing where you're training or something.
Yeah, it's the conference. Greg will be there, myself and Ken.
So are you guys all right if we move the date?
Now, what are you thinking? The next Wednesday or?
Yeah, I wouldn't push it back too far, but yeah.
Because we have an extra week that month. So we could technically move the 15th to, oh, no, we couldn't. No, we don't. My bad. My apologies. Actually, no, we did.
Yeah, we
Into the 22nd. Yeah.
Kinley and I will not be here on the 22nd either.
Okay.
I mean, do we want to do that on the 8th, or do we want to actually keep the 15th appointment and do it on the 29th or the 22nd?
The sheet won't.
I will be here the
No, you said
22nd.
22nd's bad.
The 15th, I may be able to join via Zoom.
We can do that.
15th's our regular.
Yeah, no, I was saying I wouldn't be here earlier, but I could probably join via Zoom. I was just mentioning that earlier. So I'm pretty much open. Well, the first we have commissioner training, or that commissioner, or AIC, don't we?
Yes.
That's right.
what
Yeah, that's what, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so I was gonna be there, yeah. So I'm open. 6, 7, 8, 9.
I'd like to keep it on Wednesday if we can, because everybody knows we do it on Wednesday. It's just easier for people
We'll have
that
to re-advertise.
that wants to-
regardless, but
So the 8th,
what do you
I'm
think?
okay with that. I think, yeah, I think that's fine.
The 8th? Okay. So,
All right, I'll prepare a notice of rescheduled regular meeting to be posted and sent out to news media. And that is the date that we will be advertising for, what was it we talked about earlier?
Is it the area plan, the ordinance changes?
No,
No,
the council,
that was one.
Yeah.
Is it the highway four-way
It was the
stop?
four-way.
Yeah,
That's what it was.
Yeah.
Okay. Consideration of regular and special invoices.
Mandy did not hand me any special invoices.
I am gonna request that, I don't know where my claims are considered in. I don't know if they're in special, regular. I guess they're probably regular.
I think yours should be right.
I would request that you guys, reduce my September, contractual amount to $2,000, and that we allocate the $2,000 that would have been there towards invoices from Frost Brown for services performed. It would still be legal services on behalf of the Scott County Board of Commissioners, but I just ask that you reduce my monthly payment.
And that was for September?
Yes.
If you say so.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thanks. I mean, that's,
Put your in, little boy. I'm teasing. I appreciate that.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second Jason Zach's
I'll
pay
make that unanimous.
with
Sounds good.
a thank you again.
Very nice of you to give away your money like that.
When I was gone, I had to ask some questions, and I feel like that they are gonna have an invoice. They should get it.
Yeah.
And we're under the existing contract with them for that. So.
You've always been more than fair to this county. So we don't have any special regular invoices.
Any regular special, that payroll?
So consideration of payroll.
Make a motion to approve.
Where are we on the time card request?
I need to run that by Zach.
Okay.
On what?
Yeah, time cards.
For the,
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you,
I'll approve.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion to approve.
all right, I'll make that unanimous. You guys all had a chance to look at the minutes?
There is an FMLA. We have an FMLA request.
Okay.
Too.
We'll get that at the end. I'd make a motion to approve that.
I'll second.
I'll make that unanimous.
Motion to amend the agenda for FMLA.
All right,
I'll second.
then I'll make that unanimous. Make a motion to approve this.
I didn't look at it, but
No, okay. I'll,
Yeah,
since I'm
yeah, you're good. No, you're good.
I'll make a motion to approve.
If you make a motion, just go ahead and sign. I'll second the motion. There.
I'll make it unanimous. Thank you.
If we could keep this for the record of just who spoke at the public hearing tonight for the zoning.
Just keep it with the minute, wait a minute.
Yes, yes, please. This has the memorandum from the plan commission on there.
It has what?
The back page is the memorandum that was submitted by the plan commission.
Oh. We need to sign that.
No, we already
No.
signed that. I want to make sure Jennifer has
Oh,
a copy of the
okay.
memorandum.
Yeah, we already signed that one.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, if anybody has anything, I'll take a motion to close the meeting.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll just update real quick. There's a few properties I'm working on in my area. I want to make sure those citizens reach out to me. They're aware I'm working with Mr. Bruner around some possible dangerous grass areas. And so I won't mention any names, but I just want to let you know for watching. I am working with them, trying to get some updates and see how we can move forward. Other than that, I got nothing.
Dangerous grass.
Well, property stuff tearing apart, and then grass, tall grass, and then tree limbs hanging over the
I'm
road.
teasing you.
So I was, giving up there.
Do you have anything?
No.
All right, then Greg's made a motion. Adam, do you?
Oh, I'll second, yeah.
You second, and I'll make that unanimous.